Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Smash Hour podcast. My name is Yin. I'm joined by
Dicky.
Risk taker.
You guys are finally back together.
Yeah,
it's about time, honestly.
And
missed me.
yeah, and of
the
course,
couple.
Zerg.
The couple's reunited once more.
Yeah, it's been a while since we last recorded. The first 3 episodes we recorded about. I think we got done with that early January, and now it's March. So we have. It's really been a while, huh?
Yeah,
You guys don't know. It took a long time for me to get my editing software working, but we are finally here back, hoping to do weekly episodes for you. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about expanding your horizons, definitely going into your first tournament experience, going to majors, trying to make friends in the community. We sort of had this episode idea because recently there was an event in Utah. It was the esports high school Smash Bros. Finals. And they invited a couple of really good players in Utah. I know me and Sticky were there to do coaching with all the high school students. And I think I could speak for all the coaches when I say it really brought into perspective the varying degrees of skill and experience in the Smash community. But it was great. No, it was
a good experience, but
Yeah.
yes, it certainly reminds you of like where everyone is at in the world.
Mhm.
Like I'm a good amount in front of everyone. There's a good amount behind me. I won't go into any more details than that, but
Bro, out here throwing shade.
I'm not throwing.
Excuse me.
Oh, not at all. No, it's and we wanted to do this episode because
That's all
I was
right.
gonna say, I bet
That's
they don't
a
sign me onto
really-
stage with Fox.
They
multiple
you know what they
times.
probably do. Actually,
we don't talk about that. But yeah, we really saw like, and we didn't come from this from a perspective of, oh, these players are so bad, we need to help them. Really,
Wait,
when we
you
were there,
didn't?
we were all no. Sorry, I don't know if that was a surprise to you, but we really just had like the experience, like why have these people not gone on their first tournaments? How can we make them feel comfortable integrating with the community? There's a lot of high school Smash teams. There's a lot of local tournaments. And just those players all the time. I'll see new players of all ages who have been following the game competitively for years and still not gone to their first tournament. It's actually a lot bigger of a number than you might think. I
Yeah,
think,
you think, like, someone's involved with the scene. You
yeah,
have to win tournaments, right? But
Mhm.
those people aren't like those people do exist, and they're quite numerous.
yeah. So one of our goals today, we have stuff for players of all different experience levels, but we definitely want to address getting to your first tournament, what to expect. I think the most recently minted competitor in the podcast is a Risk Taker. Is that right? What was your first tournament?
My first tournament was March of 2021. So
Oh, yeah.
shortly after COVID.
So that's very new.
Yeah. So basically, me, I was living my best life. I was actually living in Hollywood, doing stand-up comedy shows there, and completely different life removed from Smash.
The lore runs
But-
deep.
I didn't know
Wait, I
this. This
thought
is
he
all
was
news to
doing
me.
a bit. Hold on.
No,
yeah.
I know.
No,
Like,
it's real. It's real.
I was doing stand-up shows at a comedy club called LA Connection in Hollywood.
This is all right. New lore.
So I lived in LA for about 3 years. I got that gig, did stand-up shows for about a year, but then COVID hit and it shut down basically the whole world, especially Los Angeles. Like we had some of the strictest like schedules and everything. Like we had curfews, you couldn't do anything. So that's when I first got involved in Smash. Before that, I just played it for fun my entire life with my family, all of that, but I never followed Twitch. I didn't even have a Twitch. I never followed pro players or anything like that. So I started watching a bunch of Smash and started playing tons of Elite Smash. But as time went on, I decided to move back to Indiana because it got really pricey living in LA when I couldn't work. And then I saw an ad on Twitter for a local in Indiana called Player One Esports. And me, I just gotten all my characters into Elite Smash. So I was like, I want to check out a tournament. I'm like, and I finally started watching other top players and like stuff. I'm like, I want to see how I do. So on a whim, it was only supposed to be just for fun, for hobby. I went like 3-2 or something, but then I had a lot of fun. I got my mind my language by like the top players at that time there. but like I was able to take some sets, and I was like, this is a lot of fun. So I went back again the next week, and then again and again, and next thing I know, I'm here in this podcast.
Story of addiction, people.
It starts with Elite Smash always.
It
It
really
all starts
does.
Well,
Sweet.
I guess for me, it was like I said, it just started as a hobby. And I told myself, like, oh, like it's post COVID. Like, I still haven't moved back I decided to move back to Utah to finish up college and then I'll eventually probably head back to LA to continue comedy. But I was told myself I would stop Smash once I felt like I hit my peak or like I couldn't improve anymore. But I kept going, I kept getting better, and I got more involved and kept watching top players, and I made amazing friends in the community. And I got so much more out of that one local I went to than I ever dreamt possible. Like it was only supposed to be just a small thing I'm doing until I moved on to my next phase of life, and now Smash is my next phase of my life.
It was all downhill from there.
Yeah,
Come on. You're not considering me to be at the bottom of the hill, are you?
yeah. I
No,
would,
that
you
what
meant
you're
me
trying to
after
say?
you.
I would never be living with Sticky. But like to me, I'm so happy I went. And like again, I got kind of destroyed at first. But now when I go back to Indiana, I play those people who destroyed me at my first ever local in Indiana. I destroy them now. And it's that feeling of improvement and making friends in the scene and just desire to improve and get better is what kind of keeps me coming back. And of course the people. So I'm so happy I checked out the Smash tournament, or I wouldn't be where I am today. And I think so many people who are kind of afraid to maybe check out don't think they're good enough, or like they don't have their entire roster in Elite, so they can't go to a tournament. They're just holding themselves back. I wish I would have went way earlier than I did, but it's never too late to start.
Zerg, as our local TO, you can confirm that in order for people to get into your tournament, you have to check their Switch to make sure they have all their characters in Elite Smash. Is that right?
So that's the interesting thing. That's actually not the case. You can
What?
have
It is a
you
Coliseum.
can have
We
zero
have higher
characters
standards.
in maybe a Coliseum. You could have 0 characters in Elite Smash. You could have never touched a controller in your life. There's actually a couple new people who have come into the Smash community through the tournaments that I run, who before that, didn't really play Smash much. They just saw they're walking by and say, "Oh, they have tournaments on Fridays. Let me show up sometime." And they come, they meet the community, and everything is, from there. It's just love at first sight. I'm really glad you brought up the, having your characters in Elite Smash, kind of a cliche thing. That's the most common. I'll say it's an excuse, right? It's the most common excuse that you hear, like, "Oh, I can't go to my first tournament yet." We can all tell you right now, you are never too bad to go to a tournament. That's no such thing. It's because
I go
the
to
fun and
tournaments
enjoyment
now
that you
and I
have
can
is
go
like,
to.
yeah, the fun and enjoyment that you have at a tournament has nothing to do with how you place. You might get the illusion when you see like major tournaments that everyone is there solely to get better, and a lot of people are. Even the people who that is a big part of their life in Smash, still the community above all else. If I didn't love the people in the Utah Smash community, I would not be doing this for very long. I would have probably quit a long time ago.
I think
Wait.
a lot of us can agree with that.
Well, like, and when it comes to tournaments, that's the whole point of a local tournament. It's not like you aren't coming in here fighting Leo Spargo and your mother's life is on the line. It's this whole thing built around these like weak players of like I go 0-2. I go to tournaments to bust her out, do garbage, play in the redemption bracket because they're like, hey, look, we get it. You only played 2, 3, maybe 4 sets if you're lucky. Let's give you at least 2 more. That way you get to stay around, have an excuse to just hang out with some buddies and play some Smash.
Because at the end of the day, that's what we're doing. Like, even as I would say probably the best player here. I don't mean to like
Oh yeah, easily.
brag,
Yeah,
but
you get that free. You're ranked in the world. At least
technically,
Orion.
My piranha plant
your piranha plant can.
destroy you. Your fox is lucky.
We'll call it
Allegedly.
That, yeah. But
Allegedly.
even like as that sort of like I'm technically top 200 in North America. Even as someone who's at that level right now, I don't go to tournaments just to like compete, just to get results. Like technically, yes, I do. and it certainly is a big reason why I go. But for like at least an hour during a bracket, or even like 3 hours, depending on what happens and like how everything transpires, I'm just spending that like hanging out with people or brooding in the corner if I'm really upset. But that's a different story. But
Bro
like, most
loses
of the time,
the
I'm
top 5 in state and decides that he must cry.
yeah, we're all there at one point. But yeah, like I spend at least 3 hours just kind of like hanging out with people. If like I realistically only spend like 2 hours per bracket playing games, and I'm going basically all the way at that point. So that is like the absolute limit of how much I could genuinely get out of the game. And even then, I'm spending at least 5 hours when I'm at the venue. So all the extra time is spent just talking to friends. Like I met this guy when my car broke down, but I still hang out with him regardless.
You guys live together. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
see
now we
all
live
your
together.
dark secrets.
Really,
Yeah,
we're all
I
in it
give
for the
up the homeless man
post bracket Buffalo Wild Wings, Denny's, whatever you got in your local area.
True.
That's why you play Smash.
Bracket B dubs
Post
goes
bracket
hard.
B-dubs.
Even if you went 0-2, goes hard. If you went 1-2, goes hard. First place goes hard. Can confirm, except for the 0-2 part.
I can confirm on the O2 part.
There we go.
All right, everyone's valid.
O2 and Maid, O2 and Redemption, baby. We killing it out here.
Even if you go 0-4, it's
And
worth it.
I still get top 16 at majors.
What's this about?
I found the cheat code.
You found the cheat code.
Wait,
You
what was
go-
top 16?
I'm so
You go
confused right now.
0-4 at every bracket, they let you in on top 16 at the majors.
Oh, you're talking about commentary. I'm so
yeah.
dumb. I didn't
You've
even
been-
realize. I was like, what? Top 16? Yeah.
You've been lost on that still?
Yeah, he appeared on stream, top 16 at a major.
Did you
True.
pick up
I
Steve
got
or something?
more
Like,
top-
what?
I got more top 16 appearance at Crown 2 than any other Utah player.
There
I
you
was
go.
on there for more than half of it. Just say it.
I'm actually glad you brought up commentary
Round of
because
applause.
something we should definitely mention is a great start if you want to dip your toes into the community, even before you go to your first tournament, is find your local tournament stream, join the stream chat, say hello. You can see the community, see the people there. You know, even learn a couple names in the Twitch chat, so when you go there, you know who to talk to. Most local tournaments, most scenes have at least one local tournament with a weekly stream.
Yeah, so, and I'll talk to Utah, because at least, like, early on, let's be honest, that's where most of our viewers are coming from. Hi, Hammy, love you, I know you're watching. Anyway, especially, so, like, Utah, there are so many options. If you're in northern Utah, you've got CVS in Logan, Utah every Saturday. You have Coliseum Wednesday in Layton. For like Provo, if you live Provo or American Fork area, oh my gosh, you're a lucky son of a gun. Okay, so like for reference,
Very
as
blessed.
said, I'm like doing like I'm getting some decent level commentary now. Like, it's announced, so I can talk about it now. But major upset, I'm commentating that top 64. That's one of my blocks. I started a full year where I would drive 2 hours. Like 2-3 days a week, 2 hour drive one way to go to Land King Tuesday night, go to ESA Friday night later on in my like commentary career, or like Paragon Thursday night. Like I did so much driving. If you want into comms, especially Utah, there are slots open. And I think that's one of the big things. Like, so a lot of people were doom and glooming about commentary a little bit ago over like BTS Smash dying out, VGBC, all that. If you want to get in comms, this is actually low key, might be the best time because nobody's flying out nobody no more. So it's, hey, instead of me having the money to hit up like EE for my local major or Coney or TK, maybe I'll get one of those. Maybe I'll have enough money for one of those. But there's not enough money in Smash right now for more of that. So if you want comms right now, this is the time. You just start hitting weeklies, literally talk to the TO, just become buddies with the TO. They'll be like, and then you ask them, hey, do you mind if I hop on the mic? They'll be like, yeah, go for it. Have fun. Have a blast. I commentated one of the 10 biggest weeklies in the world within the first 3 weeks of me doing commentary because I was like, hey, Michael, is the mic open? Can I hop on that? And he's like, go have fun, King.
Honestly, like that, this whole commentary thing, this whole commentary discussion actually brings up another point. like when you join a bracket scene, you don't have to just be a competitor. Like there's other personalities you can be. Like obviously, like I'm more the competitor side, but like Yin right here, he's a commentator. Some like every single local scene I've ever been to has that one O2 or one tour who's just an absolute personality. Like everyone would love to be around him. Everyone just just
It's
gravitate.
not me. It's TJ Fatty.
I didn't want to say names, but like yeah, I was talking about
No,
TJ.
I know, like try to like play it up as if it's me. No, it's TJ.
This is
100%.
TJ's second time being name dropped on the podcast. We love you.
Yeah,
Shout out
but
to
like,
TJ.
but like, I swear, every scene has that one person, and you could be that guy. Like it doesn't matter. I mean, you might never get it good at the game, but like, if everyone loves you, who cares, right? I mean, as long as you value that, obviously. Like I value competing a little bit more, so I'm gonna compete, and that's fine. But
I feel like that touches upon it's like you get what you put into Smash. So you're gonna get out of whatever you put in. So like there's so many avenues you can take this. Yin has taken it more into commentary instead of competing. I think I speak for Zerg, Sticky, and I. We're more competitors, so that's what drives us to compete. But even Zerg and Sticky here have gotten more into the coaching side of Smash, where they coach. And then there's the other side, which can even be content
you
creation.
forgot about Yin. He coaches a
Oh,
lot.
and Yin.
It's a really good coach, yeah.
You coach
I'm here for you, buddy.
Oa.
I'm here.
Thank you. Not just Oa. I got other names. Hold up.
Melodic,
Melodic,
spicy.
spicy,
Yeah, well, anyway.
Mushroom.
So you do commentary and coaching, and I know Zerg.
I've retired in like 5 different ways, and I'm still out here trying to compete. It's a bad cycle.
But my main point is you get what you put in, and there's so many different avenues. It like if you feel like you can't go to a tournament because you're not good enough, there's so much you could do, like in the Smash community. Or you could be someone like say Alpharad and just do. He made his whole career a future off of content creation. He was never a great competitor at the game. He would do amiibo tournaments. So
That's my
like,
guy.
and then he became a personality in the scene, and then he was brought to a lot of majors, tourneys, and stuff like that. So you can basically get whatever you want out of Smash. So don't feel scared to go to a tournament because you're not good enough. Since first off, that you're stunting your growth. Like the best way to get good is just jump off the boat into the ocean with all the sharks. You either sink or swim. You like it'll get you better than if you don't go there. And then number 2, you might find out you enjoy commentating more than competing, or you enjoy the more content creation side where you get involved with people, or you might have a good understanding of the game, say like last, and you don't really compete, but you become a really good coach. So there's a lot you can do, and don't be scared. That's kind of my main point.
There's room for everyone. There's more than enough room, no matter how big you think your scene is. You could always use someone just like you to make the community better.
I will never complain about another person coming to an event. That went a little offbeat, but
Yeah, bigger pot.
oh yeah, that's all I care about is pot filler. You know me.
I'm not trying to say this is like propaganda to try to get more people to feed my pot, but like, I
hey, you're washed.
look, I'd like to go to some 5-star restaurants instead of 4-star restaurants. Is all I'm saying. All right.
And
Yeah.
I need the 3-star restaurants that I get from that
You
third
might
plate.
want a post-bracket Texas Roadhouse instead of Buffalo Wild Wings. Maybe
Exactly.
True.
As a TO, I gotta say, like, I'll shamelessly plug my tournament as well, like Esports Arena in American Fork in Utah. Like, I love getting new players. It makes my tournament bigger. That's my goal, is to bring Smash to more people. It makes it a better experience for everyone. It makes the environment more electrifying. There's a lot of really new people in the community who, if they just didn't make that first step, it wouldn't be the same. So I don't
This
want to.
episode is turning into propaganda for Coliseum and Esports Arena.
Look,
I'm gonna tell you right now, I get no money from my event.
So yeah, we won't be focusing all on the brand new players for the whole episode. Obviously, we have a lot of seasoned competitors here, but make sure, just to throw this out there, if you have a friend who is interested in the community, knows a little about this, we'd appreciate sending to them. Maybe we can convince them to come to a tournament with you. Which
Hit
brings
our
us.
line. We'll hook you up with the discords. We'll get you settled out. No matter what area you live in, we got connections.
Yeah, going to your first tournament, we'll probably just go over a few things to keep in mind. To find a tournament, I would recommend checking if your local scene has a Facebook group. A lot of I know most people don't really use Facebook anymore, but for local Smash scenes, it's uh moderately used features a Facebook group. Not every community will have that though. A lot of them just have a Discord. You can go searching for that as well. Even if you're just on Twitter, I would recommend finding a player from that community. If if you're in New Jersey, just look up Smash Bros. New Jersey, and whether you find a tournament account or a player, you can just shoot them a message or find out like, hey, how can I get involved? At your first tournament, all you really need to bring is the entry fee and your controller. Um, it's really the barrier to entry. What I'm trying to get at, the barrier to entry is super low. As long as you find a tournament and you can get there, there's really nothing stopping you from going and having a great time. Most tournaments are weekly. There's a couple monthly events that a lot of regions have as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly, the hardest part is sometimes just parking.
True.
That's the most you have to deal with though. The barrier to entry is
like,
finding a good parking
literally-
spot.
Yeah, that's literally the largest barrier of entry. It's just finding parking sometimes, and even then, sometimes your local's really good about it. Good job, sir. Good job, Yin.
I've never not gone to a tournament because of parking. Like to me, I'm gonna find parking.
Yeah,
We're
but yeah,
obviously
there
Jim.
are some that's rough. I got a ticket for Crown for where I parked day one.
Where did you park? Did you park at the church?
No, I parked on one of the roads.
Really? Oh, did you park in the neighborhood nearby?
Well,
Probably.
no,
I don't
probably
remember.
roads they only ticketed after 11, so
Oh yeah, and I was there pretty late.
hard time.
Yeah.
So I think I parked in the same spot, and I got to my car. Literally, it's slightly past 11, and my car was the only one left there, and there was a cop ticketing like a car cars down. I was like, so I
You
got
probably saw mine. Woo!
Not mine.
Just sort of moving on to players, whether it's their first tournament or you've been in the community for a while. Something that we really want to address is this whole myth that I can't ask for money, I can't ask for friendlies with people, just playing with people unless I'm good at the game or they know who I am or I make it a money match so they have something worth it.
It's a trap.
There's people who have gone to tournaments for years who still won't ask their the best players at their local tournaments for games because they think they'll only want to play with me if you money match. That is a complete lie. Utah viewers, because I know a lot of you are here. You can ask me anytime for games. I think I could speak for pretty much everyone else in the PR. We just want to play Smash. We just want to get to know people. It's totally fine. Warming up with anyone is great, and even after the tournament, we're just there to have fun, just like everyone else.
The only
This
thing
is
that's
a
stopping
trap.
me is usually I'm caught up in doubles money matches. I'm caught up in doubles money
Yeah.
matches very easily.
Sometimes people are too busy. What I'd recommend is if it's your first tournament or it's your first time at a new tournament that you've never been to, ask the TO to introduce you to someone. Whenever there's someone who's brand new at my tournaments that I run, especially if they've never been to any tournaments at all, I always tell them, I make the offer hey, would you like me to introduce you to someone? And I know everyone at my tournament, so I know who would be the most welcoming, the most receptive to that. I mean, I'm sure everyone would be, but try to pair them up with some of the more outgoing people, bring them out of their shell. Not even knowledgeable about the game, but just people who can hope.
Oh, I mean knowledgeable about the scene. Like, hey yo,
yeah,
come on in. Oh yo, this is so and so. Oh yeah, this is so and so. This is who plays who. Oh, you'll want to make sure that you're ready for this. There's some people that it's like you go out of state and you have that one buddy who knows all the places, or like that buddy who has the guide for everything. There's one of those in every tournament.
Yeah, if someone is like a tournament organizer, a TO, if they are comfortable doing that, they probably are pretty integrated with the community. So you can feel free to ask them. Before I forget, if you're unsure how stage striking works and any rule specific stuff, I'm not gonna get into that now, but let me just tell you, it is not hard. I don't. It sounds kind of confusing. If you can like ask the TO or ask anyone there how it works, it takes like 20 seconds to understand. So
Don't
if
let
that's
the
a barrier to
first-party
entry,
top players
Or-
take you to PS2.
Or no, I was gonna say that.
PS2.
Hold on, I was gonna be like, also, if you don't want to learn stage striking, well, you could always just say "gentlemen" to PS2,
Oh.
and then you skip the entire step. You just boom, you're playing.
No, that is
Risk.
bourgeoisie top player
Stop the
propaganda.
propaganda.
oh, that's top. Yeah. What if they play a DK? They play Grimace like,
True,
oh,
I
let's just go
only
PS2.
did-
Oh my gosh. Dude, they play against Min Min and they let them take them to PS2?
Yeah, that's rule 3. Don't take DK to PS2.
True.
DK. You take anyone else there, you're fine. You take DK there, you already lost the game. You might as well hand in
DK,
your
maybe Ike.
entry fee, shake the hands.
Min Min.
No, it's still DK.
DK.
Still
Okay.
gotta grab you.
DK could put in the work. So yeah, that's sort of the. I think if you have anything else that we just want to bring up really quick, just anything someone might be worried about going to their first tournament, just to sort of get that out of the way.
Well, I feel like
Hopefully that's
it might be
everything.
hard for us to like generate like since we're trying to contact like a lot of new players here, it might be good just to, like basically build a gigantic checklist of like, okay, what do you need to do from the start
Shower.
to
Yeah.
Hey, that's for the
Someone
old
said-
players,
someone
not
said
the
it.
new ones.
Yeah,
like-
but please, if you're gonna check out a tournament, the best way you'll make friends is if you show up smelling nice, like a pretty little flower, and you look hygienic. Trust
Risk
me.
is out here
Alright,
trying to make other friends.
So my checklist would basically be going. So we've already talked about a lot of this. We just haven't really put it in like a list format. But I guess one, shower. All right. So then, okay, you know what? Shower and then check out like where your tournament scenes are. So like you can either do this. We didn't mention this earlier, but start.gg or smash.gg because start.gg.
Oh yeah.
Facebook groups, Twitter, like just find your local scene, find out where it is, and then
Discord.
sign up. Almost all tournaments run through StartGG, so you're gonna look through that anyways. Just make an
It's a
account.
simple site. You'll figure
I
it
was
out.
also going to say, make sure if it's your first tournament or really any tournament, try to show up like 30
Yeah.
minutes early at least.
Glad
I
you
was
mentioned
gonna
that.
bring that up.
Okay.
You took the words.
Number
Hey,
3.
Risk, you're off the podcast. I can't kick you from the call because Sticky's there, but you're in big trouble when the episode's done.
You're just a guest now.
Well, no, I
Featuring Risk Taker.
Which also, guys, hold up, back up. There's a very important part that you skipped. Here, I'll give you the quick rundown. I got you. 1, shower. 2, grab your controller. You can't go to the tournament without the controller.
I was gonna talk about that. Too.
Yeah, but
Risk-
you gotta put it in order.
Risk
See?
and Yin are just ruining his
We gotta
perfect
find
list
the
right now.
tournament first.
Sticky, I'm here for you. I would love to
Yeah,
hear
but
your
if you
list.
show up to the tournament 30 minutes early and you don't have your controller, what the heck?
Okay, we don't need to
Let
say
'em finish.
absolutely everything they need to do. Okay, put one left.
Open
your
the
left-
doorknob. Walk in.
Put your right foot forward.
See, Zerg gets it now.
Turn the knob.
Well, also, if you want to find a boyfriend, girlfriend, local scene's your best
No.
bet.
That's
No.
Absolutely
No,
not. He's
don't.
joking right
No.
there. Like
He's joking.
No.
for legal reasons, he is
Hold
joking.
up. I gotta, let's shut that one down.
That's perfect. Another thing we have to say: don't be weird around people, especially of the opposite gender, at a tournament. People are there to feel comfortable and be friendly, and
Just don't
I'll
be
just
weird.
say it. Women in the Smash community, most tournaments you can find people who will be your friends and be comfortable. But guys, please do not make it too awkward for them. They go through a lot of Smash community. It's not a place where you might see the gender imbalance.
It's
it's
there.
it's there. We're not gonna ignore that. Obviously, a lot of people might not think you'll find any women at Smash tournaments. That's not at all true. But please, I would hope that the Smash Hour community will be fine with that. But if anyone needs to hear that message, there it is.
There's
Don't be
very
weird.
much why I said that as a joke. since if you're looking to find a relationship through local
No,
tournaments,
it's not. You're going down the wrong
that's
path.
not the place. Almost everyone there is there because we love Smash Bros. We want to play the game. We want a safe and welcoming community. Like if you're going in there being like, oh, I can meet great people, maybe you find a relationship. Like things do naturally happen over time, but
Just don't
Smash
expect it.
tournaments is not the place you go for.
Just call your dad about this. We don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
True.
I think we're
Call your
we're done
father.
with this.
I'm not involved. And if you don't have a good dad like me, find a buddy. At least you gotta have a friend, right?
Yeah.
If
Just-
not, once again, like me,
Bring a friend to your
I don't
first
know.
tournament.
True, bring a friend.
That's
Can I go
a really
back to my
helpful thing.
list? We've gone on
Yes.
such a tangent. Can I
Hey,
want
sir, you interrupted Sticky's list.
You did
You're
too.
on
Shut up.
thin ice.
Sticky, it's about time. We're here.
Okay. 1, shower. 2, find your local scene. 3, grab a controller. Okay. 4, shower again because you should shower before the tournament twice. That's actually a joke. 1 time is fine enough as long as you are good at showering. You should be good at showering. I do not need to say how. Okay?
Once again, ask your dad if you don't know.
Ask your dad.
Talk to your dad. And then, okay, then 5, show up 30 minutes early. It's really good. Okay, we didn't go. It's okay, buddy. I'm right here. So, why you want to show up early? We didn't really go into into why this is, but I think the best reason to go in 30 minutes early is 1, you get to meet around the scene, you get to get comfortable with the environment, because like going to your first tournament, it's nerve wracking sometimes. Like if you have expectations of yourself, it's nerve wracking. Like just being there early, in my opinion, just kind of helps you integrate with the environment a little bit more. It helps you, get comfortable, and like that's what you want out of a tournament performance. And then 2, like you just get to meet people. 100% you get to meet people. No one's going to be in bracket at that point. If the TO says that the bracket's at 7 and all of a sudden it's getting ran at 6:30, that's a bad TO. Thank you guys for not doing
Good
it.
TO started at like 7:15.
If anything, they're going to start late. So that gives you time to talk to people because they are not going to be in bracket.
But still come early. I will DQ you if you're 30 minutes late and I've started bracket.
And
I'm
the
not
third
gonna
reason
lie.
is literally there's no chance you'll get DQ'd. There's just
True.
yeah.
if you're
and chances
early
are
in
you
here,
show up
you aren't gonna be out.
Yeah, and chances are, even if you show up right as the tournament starts, you'll probably be fine. Most TRs are pretty chill about that.
Or if you're like Zerd, Sticky, and I, we'll have buys so we can show up like 10, 15
Top
minutes.
player
Top player
privilege.
privilege right there.
Oh my gosh, I hate you top players for one specific reason. Okay? I'm gonna
What?
go on a tirade real quick.
Go ahead.
I hate the placeholder method that Paragon and Lanking are accustomed to, because there's 2 specific top players that I have in mind that don't sign up for bracket ahead of time. Then they show up like 15 minutes late. Bracket's already started, but there's a placeholder open. So now they're at like bottom 5 seed. And now bracket is screwed for everybody on that side of the pool. I hate you. I love
I
you
know
as a
who won.
person. I love you as a person. I hate you.
That's one thing I agree with you. Yet I think the whole idea of placeholders is kind of ridiculous. Like I get, like say a top player, like you're gonna be late, you have a bye, so it's not gonna affect bracket. But
But you know how to sign up though. Still, you've been in the scene for 3 years.
Yeah, there's no excuse.
it's so easy to sign up on Start GG.
My opinion on placeholders is it's okay if you're giving it to new players who, it's their first tournament, they didn't realize when it started,
Yeah,
they showed up.
that's all.
Because then they're going to be bottom seed anyway, so it doesn't mess anything up in bracket. I shouldn't have the person who should be 5th or 4th seed fighting number 1 round 2, and then, hey, my losers run is screwed because of you. You've been in the scene for 5 years, maybe more.
Yeah,
I'm scarred.
no, it's fine. It's fine. So again, those are like the 5 things that you would do before a tournament. Then I would say the last thing is like just check your pool. Like, so not all tournaments. So some really big locals like Lanking here in Utah always runs pools. Essentially, if you're not familiar with what those are, it's just a small bracket that helps eliminate some of the lower seeded players in order to make it to a top cut which makes bracket a little bit more interesting and easier for the TOs to run. But if you don't have pools at your local, that's fine. It doesn't really change anything, honestly. But you want to check your bracket position. Like, you want to check who you're going to play. You want to be on top of that. If you have a phone that's amazing, you can always have bracket pulled up and just check, so you can always make it to your matches on time. Because TOs, I know you guys will back me up on this, TOs hate it when you don't show up for your bracket match. They hate it.
True.
Trust me, you follow these 6 things, like, you will already be ahead of the crowd.
You will already be my favorite player.
I have one more thing to add. When I say quit your friendlies, that doesn't mean you keep playing till it's over. I will pull the switch out of the dock.
Yeah.
I know most TOs won't do that.
I just turn
don't
switches
care.
off at this point. Yeah.
Same. I hate
What
it.
if we're in the middle of
No.
a Brain Dubs money
You
match?
should not be money
Ben
matching at
Risk, you
7
shouldn't have been money
p.m.
matching.
I'm guilty of this too, so I can't
Yeah.
say anything right now.
The thing is,
Zerg turned off me, Speedy, Krieg, and Sticky's money match.
this is how you guys know it's a top player privilege thing. Because I'm sure Zerg can confirm the same. It's never like the O2ers of the bracket that are doing this. It's not the ones who are like, oh, I need to get ready for my match. It's these privileged top players who are like,
Okay,
oh,
okay,
I
we're
know
trying to
how
build a
to
positive
bracket.
community here. Guys, rule 7. 7.
That's 7.
Rule 7, find the best player and kill them, was what we're trying to say.
True. If you see any player that quit their friendlies, take your knife out of your
We
pocket
hate top
and
players.
stab them.
Well then.
But yeah, just quit your friendlies. Like,
Do I have to cut that out?
I don't think so.
Nah, we're fine.
I'm sure.
Rule number 8. Money match Speedy every time you see him.
Until it's traced back to us.
No, you can
Until one murder is traced back to us, we're probably fine.
True. Until there's one.
Even though
but
we
no,
just turn out the video, even after it's uploaded.
here's the thing with the quit your friendlies thing, and the reason why I mentioned this. And I'm going to look. I know we've been talking a lot to like lower level players. Look, top, mid level, high level players. This applies to you right now. Okay, the low level players are the ones that are listening to that, for the most part. Okay, here's the thing. Even if you've been to like say mine or Zerg's bracket 10, 20, 30 times, you've been there every week for the past half year. Okay, we will sometimes have things that change. Okay, I might have stream set up in a whole nother place, and I'm gonna need you to be wary that, hey, these are where the cords run. And if you mess with those, I'm sorry. I gave you the warning ahead of time. I told you when I said, hey, quit your friendlies. This is where the cords are. Please be nice. I've spent over like $1,500 on my stream, like my production setup. If you don't listen to me now, I'm DQing you. I warned you. And I feel that's fair.
Yeah, essentially what this conversation boils down to is listen to your TOs. Like, they're taking time out of their day. Oftentimes they're not getting paid or making any amount of money. Sometimes they're losing money just by running it. Like, be respectful of it.
What if I give you Smoochie in?
No.
No, you don't get to break my $1,500 setup. Okay, for reference, so you know what some TOs go through. I travel an hour to get to my tournament. Okay, because my city is tiny, so I can't run one here. I then will not get any money back. Okay, at most, so like venue fee, 70% of that goes to the venue, roughly. The other 30% goes towards a esports team that I'm running, or even if I wasn't running that, it would go to production and pot bonuses. I am losing gas money every week. Every week. Even if I was pulling the venue to myself, it wouldn't cover my gas. I'm gonna tell you right now, my last 2 weeks, we've got it about $10, $20. It's not covering crap.
People do a lot for the community.
Yeah.
Because I love it here. And I want people to have fun at these events. We get free knife throwing.
Again, your TOs do a lot for the community. Like, it's all behind the scenes, but they're taking time out of their day. They're driving. They're not spending time with their families. They're spending it with you, trying to run your tournament. So,
my hair's going gray for this.
I am a hypocrite for saying this, but get off your friendlies when they tell you to get off your friendlies. All right?
That was
That's the
beautifully
least
said.
you can do.
That was
Yeah, you know what? Listen to
very
this.
moving.
You're a hypocrite too. I don't want to hear it. I at least admitted it before I said it.
There's no proof.
All right. Well, for people who are already in the community for quite some time, what would you guys recommend for getting more integrated with their local scene, meeting new players? I still see a lot of people who've been coming to tournaments for a while, who still sort of stick to themselves. And you know, if that's who you want to be, then go for it. But how can we help people get more involved? I think the biggest one, and we already touched on this, but just ask players for games, ask players for friendlies. It's such a misconception. I really cannot state it enough that people just won't play with you. Please, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you play like the cringiest character in the game. I don't care if you play a character like, oh, no one wants to play against Game & Watch, or no one wants to play against Steve or what. Like, trust me, we just want to play our favorite video game.
If you guys have tuned in to one of our previous videos, you will remember me ranting about Younglink. I play friendlies with Younglink players all the time.
It's awesome.
That's my least favorite character in this game. I'll still play it. It's Smash. I love this game.
Smash at its worst is still my favorite game ever made. And a lot of people share that sentiment.
Like, if you play anyone, I know, like, Sticky, like, you could ask either of us, we'll play. Except if you play Bayo, then I'll probably walk away.
That's not the point we're trying to make here, dude.
Risk.
This is not the time for that.
It was a joke. I could just go Piranha.
Don't worry, Bayo players. I'll play against you. You don't want to play against
me too.
I'll play against you, Bayo players. I play 2+2 matchups into you. It's all right. They're not +2.
Anyways, if you can't tell, it's a joke. Like, even if you play Bayo, I'll sit down and play with you. I've sat down and played for over 30 minutes with Garrido Navi.
Whoa.
So, who's one of our
Bayo, top 50 in the state right now.
So,
give or take.
Any of us will play games with you. And even if you find that one person you ask, they say no. They said no. Who cares?
They're
Move
probably
on.
just having a bad day.
There'll always be someone in that tournament or local who will sit down and play.
That's also so rare. I don't even want to say that as if it's something that you should be expecting. It's really rare to see. And usually those people, if someone's just doesn't want to play friendlies with you even before they know you're gonna play, I would probably just add on to that. It's probably not something you even have to worry about. Just so we're clear.
I have never had it happen when the player is sitting at a setup. I should say that. Because there's a couple of Splash Daddy or Sen are a good example. Splash Daddy not even as much, but Sen comes here to grind, and then a lot of the times he'll sit down for a moment to chill. But even he will be like, yo, wanna play? Second lanking ever, he was like, yo, you and Noah, you guys want to do random random doubles? We're like, oh. But and the chances are the worst that you'll get is something from I know maybe not Risk or Zerg, but I know Sticky and I, there's a couple of times where we've gotten salty after a set or whatever, after dropping out. And if you ask us, it won't be a straight flat out oh no, I don't want to play with you, you're smelly. It'll be oh, just give me a minute, I'm kind of out of it right now, but I'm totally down later.
Yeah, you still have to have the basic, social skills. You got to read the room. I will say that I say that people will never, say no to friendlies. There are, I'm so glad you brought it up that, if someone's available, they will almost always play with you. People might ask me for friendlies or money matches, and for me, it's just something I do as a competitor. If I'm still in the actual tournament and as a bracket, and I do tend to get very far in our tournaments here, I won't play friendlies with people while I'm in bracket. And that's just to stay focused and think about the next match and think about strategies. So I'm kind of in something. I'm focused on it, and that's an example of me being busy in a way. But if you see if people are playing the game, here's the thing: if there's two people at a setup, that's sometimes even scary. Because if there's one guy sitting alone, then it's oh, he's probably looking for games. If there's two people who are already playing against each other, you can just ask them, hey, would you like to do a rotation? And most of the time, they will say yes. A rotation, if you don't know, there's two different ways people would do it, but basically it's a way so all people can get experience. Some people do King of the Hill, so it's like, oh, whoever wins stays, whoever loses gets off the setup. I don't really like that. I don't think it's as
King of the Hill
welcoming.
sucks.
If you're with like some established players and you all agree to it, I think it's great. If I don't know someone or they're more new to the scene, I usually offer just a true rotation where everyone takes turns sitting out with 3 people. If there's already 3 people, do not ask for a 4-person rotation.
Unless they want to play doubles.
You can ask for doubles. Don't do a 4-person.
4-man
singles
rotations
rotation.
are incredibly unpopular. Incredibly unpopular.
Quick note on the rotations, and then we forgot to put a very important caveat here. So for rotations, those 2 different kinds, okay? King of the Hill, if you're wanting to grind out the game, that's probably the best option for you if it's players at your level, because it establishes this need to be better during those matches in that rotation. Meanwhile, the other
changes.
Exactly. And so like it's really good if say like Zerg, Sticky, Risk are sitting down. They're all PR, they're all at that same level, and they're wanting to push themselves. So that's really good for them.
Win.
I hate King of the Hill rotation, all right? I'm not here trying to grind out all the time. And most of the time, the person I'm playing with is Oa, okay? Oa's PR. I'm outside of top 100. Big skill gap here, all right? I'm not here playing King of the Hill because then I'm getting 1 in 3 games. So like for that, that's like true rotation. Like, all right, you just go nice round circle and everybody gets a nice, like you get to play 66% of the time. You get 1 game off, 2 games on. It is fun. And then you still get to watch it and mess around, dink around. Now, here's the caveat. Okay. Make sure that when you are asking for friendlies, one thing I do recommend first is making sure bracket isn't that far developed, or like it's farther developed. Okay. So early on in bracket, you have about half the matches for the whole bracket playing, because you're slowly shrinking down the bracket as people get eliminated. And so early on, a lot of those matches are going to be bracket matches. So when you first get there, go ask for friendlies. And that's one of the big reasons why. Show up 30 minutes, maybe even an hour early. Play those friendlies, have fun with it. But once bracket starts, what I recommend is waiting until you're out of bracket and then talking to the TO like, hey, are there friendly setups open? Because we'll know. Me and Zerg, if they're a well-established TO. Yeah, it is different for every tournament. But for the most part, unless it's like a huge bracket or a newer one, we know what setups that we need and how many we need and how many we have on hand. And so I'll know if like, okay, I have 6 games that I need played and I have like 8 setups. Those 2 over there, go for it. Have fun with it, And so before bracket, play to your heart's content. Get that warm up, have fun, meet people. And then once bracket starts, wait till you've gotten out, ask your TO, and then maybe wait a couple of rounds. If they say no, just keep on base. You'll have start GG. Your TO will show you how to work that. But it's just the tournament app, and you'll be able to keep track of what's going on with brackets. So you kind of have a good gauge of, hey, all right, maybe friendlies are open now. Let me ask the TO.
I also want to add one more thing about so like Zerg's already talked about this. Actually all of us have really talked about this, but asking for friendlies from like top players or like high level players, it's really easy. Like most of the time you'll get a positive answer, but do not talk to top players after they've lost a set. Do not do it. Like I'm telling you this. I don't like sometimes
for your own safety.
Yes, like
this goes for everyone. Let's not limit this to top players.
Yeah, like this is not limited to O2ers. This is not limited to top players. It applies to everyone.
Sticky says it because he knows he's extra mad when he loses a set.
No, like if I'm angry after losing a set, the last thing I want to hear is like someone saying, "Hey, you want to play friendlies? I can maybe show you what you did better or what you did wrong." Like, trust me, that is one of the worst things you could absolutely say.
That's just disrespect.
And absolutely do not talk about the set. Do not talk about
DDD versus my plant. I could show you why DDD beats Marth.
Like, Like I cannot stress this enough. Like top players, they're usually very nice people. They will not be nice to you if you ask them for friendlies after a loss.
Or a signature, which I think is a good transition to your first major.
There we go.
So for high level and top level players, especially after a loss, because it's competition. It's already frustrating to lose. For top and high level players, a lot of this ends up being not only just like a big chunk of their life, but for some of them, even their job. And so you take sometimes thousands of dollars, putting it into a trip across country, and you lose in a set. And even if you deserve the loss, even if you think you played really well, that could still be very frustrating and very depressing. And so you might, like, for them, a lot of the times they might get off the stage and like just not be in it. And so it's kind of that reading the room thing, right? If you see someone that took that loss, just give them a minute. You can totally talk to them later. And I think that's one of the big things that I found at Crown 2 is I came in wanting a bunch of signatures because I was like, yo, this is sick. This is my first ever major. And so I had this card game and a marker. And I was like, I'm just going to get a bunch of people's signatures. And so just like, oh, hey, Louis Money and Valor are chatting it up. Yo, can I get y'all signatures? And like just being aware of like, okay, when is the time? When is not the time? Because I get it. Even though like they aren't real celebrities or anything, it's still real because you're like, yo, I've watched you play Smash for years. This is so cool. I love watching you play. And so there's gonna be some of that where you're like, oh, I want to take a picture. I want to get a signature. Like that's one recommendation. Just make sure you don't ask them right after they just lost a set. That's
You
the
literally
whole.
could choose your worst time.
Yeah. I know, who was it? I think it was Wadi talking about it one time on his stream. He was literally talking about how he would have sometimes fans. He would literally lose on stream, like in top 64, like on the big stage. Then as soon as he's walking off, he has fans going, can I have your signature? Can I get a picture? Can we play games? And he was talking about, he's like, look, I'm a really nice guy, but if you just saw me lose on stream at a major, like, give me like 5-10 minutes to cool off. It's just all about that timing, especially after a loss. Since, like, any player that's gotten pretty involved in competitive Smash, we want to win. It's the human nature. So, like give some people a moment. We're all still only human.
But that does bring in the beauty of it. It's like, even though like that's like their lowest moment or whatever of the tournament, every other time they are homies for the most part. Let me tell you, the Buzz is a sweetheart. Louis Money, oh my gosh. These gentlemen will sit down and have a chat with you and just talk it up. They don't care.
He's the way, the light, the truth.
But yeah, like top player, like what's honestly really cool about majors is that top players are just everywhere. Like you'll just be walking around the venue and then, oh wow, there's MKLeo. There he is. Hey, Spargo's over there. Oh, Mike's over there. Mars, cool. Wadi, all right. Like they're just everywhere, and they're just acting like normal people, which some people have like a misconception or like treat top players differently. Trust me, they're just like everyone else.
It's just Smash Bros.
It's just
This where the
And
NBA
it's a
maybe a little different.
They'll respect you more if you just treat them like another person. Like, since they are just people. Like, if you're going to act all starstruck, all that, it might flatter them. Maybe they'll blush a little bit, give a little giggle. But it's like, the end of the day,
Risk is talking from experience.
Treat them like another person. I know, like I mentioned earlier at the beginning of the episode, I used to live in Hollywood, do stamp shows. Like, I would occasionally run into celebrities while living in Hollywood. And let me tell you, most celebrities, even big movie actors, they'll treat you and respect you a lot more if you just treat them like a person. Since that's what they are. It's just because of their career, just because it's MKLeo or like, I don't know, Robert Downey Jr. At the end of the day, they're both just humans.
Like I actually, I remember, actually, you know, this story isn't really applicable.
I
I don't know,
have.
maybe it is.
I want to hear it.
All
Now.
right, all right. I can't lead with that and then not share. All right. So I think it was Low Tide City 2021. That was my first major. Fun fact. One of our local PR players, Splash Daddy. I think this was at Low Tide. Doesn't really matter. But he was sitting in the crowd, and I think he ran like it was MKLeo up on the stage, and I think he randomly shouted out like I think this crowd should be more toxic, and then MKLeo straight up just said, "I don't think you want that with Mexicans here, bro." Like
The Mexico crowd go wild. They know how to be toxic and have some fun. Look,
so
it's
like
all fun and games. They're all having man. There's some great
like-
crowd talkers. I love it.
but like where that story kind of comes from is like you will have these interchanges with top players, and it's weirdly enough very casual.
Yeah, they're just
It's just one-on-one. It's
Yeah.
yeah, it's banter, right?
So there's something I really want to bring up. So I at this point have gone out of state. I don't count that Idaho trip. No offense,
What?
Idaho Smash. Sorry, fine. I'll count the
Don't do
Idaho
that to
trip.
Idaho.
I've gone out
Y'all
of state
took
4
one of our
times.
Players and we still stomped you. Come on, bro.
Yeah, fine. So I guess
They
counting.
don't let me go
I've gone to
Colorado.
Vegas 3 times. I went for Level Up Expo most recently. Oh yeah, we didn't mention that. I guess that's since we last recorded. But we went to Level Up Expo.
True.
Yeah, at least me, Sticky. Risk, were you? You were.
did.
Oh yeah, you were there. Okay.
I was the only one who didn't.
But yeah, great tournament. I got to play Void, my favorite player, which is cool. I also went to Double Down and Edgeguard last year. And every single time I've gone to a major. Also, Crown is in Utah, but you know it's a major.
It's a hometown major.
Yeah,
so.
I'll talk to people who are just kind of sitting around, not really doing much. Maybe they play friendlies, maybe they're just standing around. And every time I've gone out of state or gone to a major, there's been someone who is at the major watching, but they don't compete. Now at Level Up recently, something that has never happened to me before has happened where after my match with Void, I had just lost. I was in a good mood, so this was fine. But someone really wanted to meet me, and they said, "Are you Zerg?" I'm like, yeah. What's up? It's like, oh, me and my friend, we both know you. We were watching you play, and it was so cool. Can I have your autograph? No, sorry. Say, can I have a picture with you? You didn't ask for an autograph. That'd be next level. He's like, can I get a picture with you?
High.
And I'm like, no one's ever asked for a picture with me, so sure. So we took a picture, and it was all great. And I was talking to him for a couple minutes after that, because he, wanted to get to know me, whatever. And I was like, oh, did you compete today? He's like, oh no, I didn't compete. I just came to watch. I'm like, oh, is this your first time at a major? He said, yeah. I'm like, oh, and let me guess. Now that it's going on, you regret not competing. And this is the same thing that happens every time I talk to these people, and every time they're like, yeah, I think I don't know why I didn't compete. That was dumb. So if you're in the scene or you're not, whether you're new or been in the community for a while, if you're going to a major, just compete. It's really like you could not, if it's not a big deal to you to do good, you could just go have fun and at a major, and it's awesome just being a part of that.
Chances are, if
No
you're
way
going
you
to
did
the
that.
major-
No, look, I'm going to be. Okay, there's a good reason why I'm going to be doing this.
Commentary
alright?
is different. That's
Yeah,
you have a
well,
job.
that okay. So that's the thing. Like, so for Crown 2, because I commentated and competed for that, it was so exhausting. Like,
You have a good reason. That's not what
yeah, and so like major upset, I decided, you know what? It's a super major, big stage. I want to do my best, and so I'm not competing. But also, there's a big part of me that's like, but bro, it's my first out-of-state major and my first super major. I should have, and now it's like capped, so I don't get a choice. But also, I know it's better for me not to.
Yeah, I
But
just
have
wanted
an
to.
excuse.
I just wanted to say though, like if you are going to a major thinking about just spectating, don't do that. Every single time someone does that, they regret it. Just compete.
Play. It's so fun. It's so fun.
Well, what's honestly really crazy to me about that whole situation. You're spending all this money to go to a major. Registration for an event usually only costs like $10-$20, and like the most I've seen personally is like $50. But
Yeah.
usually you're spending a couple hundred just getting.
You're already paying the venue.
You're paying
Yeah.
more for food
Honestly,
you pay
you're
like
paying more.
you
just
pay
to
more
eat.
for one meal as you do for bracket entry.
Honestly,
usually.
yeah. So
Convention
like
food is
you
so
skip
expensive.
lunch on Tuesday. all right. Then you get to play. Like you get to have a good experience, and you'll forget about that Papa John's pizza. You're gonna remember that time at Level Up.
I don't know. I like Papa John pizza.
Papa John's is good.
BTS.com/Papa John's, everyone.
We are not sponsored. Not sponsored.
You're not
Wanna throw that out
sponsored.
there.
No. Doing this out of
It'd
the
be fire.
Not yet.
Not yet. Hey, Papa John's, hit me up, bro. Look, I'm cheap. All right.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Okay, real quick, a funny story. I'm not a big personality in Smash yet. Hopefully one day I'll be a big commentator. But for Crown 2 at the pre-local, okay? So I'm just watching the sets at the pre-local, and one of them is Zomba versus T. And this guy recognizes me from the commentary announcement. He's like, yo, you're one of the commentators, right? I'm like, yeah. And so I'm just figuring like he's gonna ask me about some of it or whatever. And he's like, yo, show it. Would you be willing to show us some of the commentary for this? Side note, not every commentator is down. And this is one of the more cringy things, but I don't care. I'll do it. I'm here for the ride, sort of thing. I will say a lot of the commentators, they are personalities, okay? They are here for the ride and for the content. Given not all of them will want to do this for the most part, maybe they just want to chat with you, and they're going to be some of the coolest people you'll probably meet in the scene. Me, I'm balling. Let's go. And so I just do this solo commentary for like 20 minutes for this guy. Side note, I know he recorded it. I want that video because it was actually good solo.
It was just some random guy.
Yeah, I have no idea who it was. I never saw him again for the rest of the event. Yeah, I at least went for like 10, 15 minutes, given my voice was sore because OA versus MFA. OA played against MFA.
Oh, that's
OA had
I was
never-
there.
Hey, it was such a beautiful set. OA had never played an Olimar before. Ever. Not even like an O2 or Olimar. There are none inside of Utah. And so OA plays MFA, who is number 101 on ult rank. He is ranked worldwide. Plays him. Gets trashed game 1. Trash game 2. Game 3 is looking like the same thing. I'm like, oh, dog, it's over. My boy's going to lose. He reversed 3 stocks. Oh, boy. I start basically a riot up in there. Everybody is losing their minds for MFA and OA because it went last hit, last stock. And, okay, there were like 5 swing. They are off stage, like at the blast zone, swinging at each other, trying to end this
They were
set.
both going at it. It was insane. Risk and Sticky, were you guys there for that set?
I had to play my own set.
It was...
Yeah, I think I had to play Zomba in Winter Finals, and then I lost in the top cut.
That might be the most hype set I've ever seen in my life.
That was one of the best sets
I'm getting goosebumps just
all
thinking about
weekend that I've ever seen. Like, oh my
This is what you're missing if you're not at majors, guys.
Dude, oh, it was so good.
Honestly, but I do actually want to bring up one more thing about majors.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we've been talking about like, oh, you should go compete, you should go to majors, but like we haven't really talked about like what the actual logistics of that is. Like, because like going to a major is like kind of a scary experience because oftentimes you are going out of state, especially if you live like for me, like going to my first major was kind of nerve wracking because I had to travel from Utah to Texas, which is, you know, quite a long ways away.
Just a bit.
So like, what's that?
Just a bit.
Just a bit? Come on. I had to meet up with people who drove 20 hours there. Yeah, that's a tough drive. But for if you've never been to a major, like a lot of that stuff can be kind of scary. But like the number one thing is like you want to have a travel group. Like you have a travel group. And you probably can't get a travel group if you don't go to locals.
That's right.
Think about that.
That's also a great way to make friends. If you join a travel group, if you're not already part of one, say, hey, does anyone go to this tournament? You know, what if I tag along? After going to a major with someone, you're friends for life. You and them are like inseparable.
Like, honestly, like if you can get a gigantic in-state or just bring your entire local scene to a major, beautiful.
Beautiful
your worst
bonding
enemy
experience.
becomes your biggest supporter.
Yeah.
Another one is when you're there, play friendlies with people out of state.
Mhm.
Given this might be the only time you ever really talk to them, but some of them might become real homies with you. I know for me, like I met NC, an Arizona player at Crown. Him and Felix, yo, I'm tight with NC. NC might go now, bro. Sandfall, Jet, I love those are my ride or dies now. We had Sandfall on the podcast. I love that man.
Yeah, I've made a lot of friends out of state. I play at Level Up. I played on Mario from Chile, named Peppa.
Tight.
He was kind of putting in work that weekend, but just like you meet people that you never thought you'd ever meet. I met him. He's from South America, and he came here for this is I think his first major.
US. Oh, just first major. Damn.
Yeah.
Bro should have went to Smash Factor. A
Yeah,
little bit easier
there's so
travel.
many. There's so many.
So, the
great
benefit-
major.
Of making friends like that. Like for me, I'm going to be going to this Texas big tournament, and I actually just got housing. I know I'm getting house with Big Boss, Sky J, and I forget one other player. They're housing, but they're going to all house us. And I'm like, I'm going to get to hang out with one of the Rob Goats and like get house. But it's like,
That's your
And
guy.
Sky who's the goat after today.
Dude,
even though
Sky
they're
J?
way better than me, it's like they don't care. They're just getting me housing so I can go compete. And it's an amazing experience. So it does even have to be like in the same skill level. Like if you just make friends in these other scenes or at majors, then you can find connections to get housing for majors, which will make majors cheaper for you instead of having to book a hotel. Like a lot of life is about networking, and the Smash community is no different. So that's one of the benefits of going to a major. You don't even have to compete well. You can purely go and network. And then the more connections you have, the more you're going to get out of the scene.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, side note, if you are wanting to do comms once you've established yourself at locals, even if you don't get comms at majors or regionals, that's the only way you're going to get comms at majors or regionals. Out of state, I'm going to tell you right now, you better meet people. Like I am getting Daddy's Den and Major Upset because of the people I met at Crown. I'm not going to cap. Like given, I think I'm dope on the mic. I think I'm a good commentator. It doesn't matter. It wouldn't matter because it's about who you know. Given, it still requires some talent. Like they aren't going to just be like, yeah, I'm really good friends with you.
It's
And
still
you're
their
garbage on the mic. You still got to be good. But like that's how you get the gigs, if I'm being honest here.
Yeah, I mean that's I think a good place to end it off. We are at a little over an hour mark, but Yin is shaking in his seat right now. To
Wait,
warn it.
I also want to add
Before,
something before we go.
I should have
Yeah,
warned
before-
before I started closing the episode. My apologies.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, you guys.
before
I'm here all night.
before the viewer question, there is something that look, some of you tours, even you mid players, like you 3 tours, you 5 tours, even some of you high level players want to know. All right, I'm gonna let you in on the secret. Yes, there is a secret VIP room where all the VIPs, we're doing the craziest stuff back there, getting wild. We are shooting pool. I don't know why that was the first thing that came to mind, but we're playing billiards, boys.
At Majors.
There was a pool table in the VIP room for Crown, by the
Oh,
way.
yeah.
It was lit.
All
Sticky,
right.
what you got?
So we kind of strayed away from what I originally wanted to talk about, which is like the logistics of majors and like what to expect. I think Banana Boy actually made a really good video on this. I would defer you to that if you really want like more in detail concepts.
I'll link it.
The GOAT, he got me into Smash.
Yeah. All right. So basically, like the one thing you want to expect from a major is you basically want to take it. It's basically a local, but insanely huge. Like it's really not much different from your locals, besides the fact that it absolutely will have pools. If it doesn't have pools, contact me. I will contact the TO and admit them to a mental hospital because that would be impossible to run. But they'll have like usually a lot of long tables in which like there's room to spectate, there's room for setups, and there will be like hundreds of setups there if it's a good major. A couple of majors I'm thinking of right now did not, but besides the point, generally like there will be lots of setups. You'll want to report to your pools. Having Smash GG on your phone is almost a necessity in my opinion, like at majors especially because
It's not an app. Kill me. Should
Yeah,
be.
they need to make it an app of some kind, or like simplify its UI. It's really bad. But you need to report to your pools on times, or else they will DQ. This isn't a local situation where if you show up like 10 minutes late, you're probably fine. If you do not show up, they will DQ you, like just straight up, because they don't know who you are and they quite frankly don't care. So surely you would care about the event and show up on time. That's the logic there. So, and also like you need to show up early on the first day, and if you can on the day prior to the event starting, you want to get your badge, because on the first day there's always a line to get your badge. Like, it's sometimes I've seen it go for hours.
The level up line was insane.
Yeah, people have shown like the line at Level Up. Well, to be fair, Level Up was also like an anime expo, so it wasn't just Smash. But like these lines can go up to like an hour long, and if you show up 30 minutes before your pool and you're stuck in this hour line, like you could be screwed. Oftentimes TOs like know this is going to happen, so like they'll try to bring you to the front, get your badge, and get you in your pool. But you usually don't want to deal with that stress. Like, especially if it's like your first major, you're like, you might be freaking out. And if you're prone to like sort of anxiety attacks, like you're risking one right there by not showing up early enough.
Just make your life easier.
Yeah, and oftentimes venues will open the day before just for you to get your badges, and I highly recommend you do that. And like last thing about majors, just have fun. Like genuinely,
it's Smash.
No, don't have fun.
It's hard not to. It's like there's so much to do.
Like there will be vendors booths, like they'll have vendors there. You can check out some of the cool things they have. If you're not into it, who cares? Like I know I got my favorite string backpack from a major. There will always be controller geeks there. Just have fun. Like don't put any. If it's your first major, don't have any expectations for it. Go into bracket, compete. If you go 0-2, that's fine.
Well, try to bring some extra money. That's the one expectation you should have.
But like there will be people like sometimes I know plenty of people who will just go in just to money match and like end up like $200. I don't know how they do it. Like I couldn't do that myself. But at the end of the day, just have fun. And just go to one. There will never be a right time for it. If you have to take off work, if you have to save up a little bit of money, like just do it. That goes for locals too. If you don't think you're good enough, there will never be a right time. Just go. There's a major. There will not be the right time for it. You just have to go. Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to see all of us, we will all for sure be at Crown 3.
Absolutely.
It's gonna be a great tournament. I won't show for that.
No, they haven't convinced me yet.
Oh, shut up, Risk.
Well, yeah, you can check out their Start.gg page. They have a ton of cool stuff. They have Zerg.
Round the third.
Risk. Will it convince you if I tell you I'm gonna be there?
Sonic.
Yo, Risk. I'm gonna be on the mic.
There we go.
Yo, do you want to do doubles?
No thanks.
I'll do doubles with you.
Okay,
Can I do doubles with you?
I guess.
Yeah.
I'll
check out doubles with your
I'm
friends
sorry.
at your first
At
tournament.
different time,
That's a great way to start. But yeah, that's probably gonna be all for today. For the main topic, just to wrap it up, go to your tournaments. Bring your new friends. Show them this video. If you have any questions about going to your first tournament, you can contact any of us. We'd be happy to help you get in touch with your local scene, especially if you're in Utah. We're all experts on that. For our viewer question today is from our good friend Shiro Berry.
I signed that man. I'm sending him to Major Upset.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I'm pretty sure he's watched all the episodes of our podcast.
He's taking my money.
But his question is, what is everyone's passions outside of Smash? So, I guess I can start. If Smash is all that you do, I feel this is gonna be really awkward. But no, you guys all got stuff going on. So me, I've been. Oh, sorry. If you couldn't tell, I do music.
That's why you set it up there.
But yeah, I've been actually playing a lot more guitar lately, and having a ton of new ideas. Thinking about maybe releasing some music, or at least working towards that. I have a lot of cool ideas. But I've been doing music since I was 11, all self-taught. Doing production for some music on some games, indie games, hopefully soon. But yeah, it's something that I've realized lately. Like a lot of people do know that about me, but there's a lot of people who don't know how much of a part of my life that is. So,
yeah.
It's my crappy guitar, I guess. And my crappy keyboard.
So, funny thing, which, given Zerg, you're in my circle, so you might have seen a little bit of it. But, like, so for me, I'm a lyricist, which means I don't know how to play a fecking instrument to save my life. Let me tell you, I can sing. I can rap okay at this point. I'm very out of practice, so I'd be lucky to get a couple of bars out. But like, I write lyrics. I love it. I love like the art of poetry and writing lyrics, figuring out the tune and everything, all that jazz. That literally saved my life before Smash came along. That, and then also just not even just Smash, but like gaming in general. So like I've been on a Clash Royale binge for the past couple of weeks. I was playing that game. Yeah, I'll admit it. I'll admit it. I should go into that game on comms.
All right, you are gonna get me heated if we talk anymore about that game.
But then also like just production work for like video production, not like music production. So like for example, like I've got some I do like the stream production for a couple of tourneys here in Utah. So like I've got a couple of like big regionals planned out. For example, Cold Hard Cash, which is a melee regional, and then Beat and I we did Character Clash last year. And we got some things cooking up for this year. I'm very excited for at some point. And then we got some video production work that we're doing for GSS in partnership with Utah Smash Stats. We were going to do a February monthly recap, but just without like clips, there was no way to really make it feel good. So we'll have a March recap though that we're already started on and working on. So
cool. All right. Well, outside of Smash, I am a full-time student. I love the art of engineering, specifically like I'm like specifically a material science engineer. What? Fine, I'll show it. Bismuth. Bismuth. I have two things to show for my endeavors. What? So, this is an inside joke between me and this guy. This right here, what that little metal thing in there? This is bismuth.
Bismuth. It's so cool.
So, it's pure bismuth.
Big bismuth.
Or I think it's like 99% pure. It's a pretty cool element. The reason why it's funny to him is honestly, I can't even begin to explain it, but it's a really cool element. And I actually
number 83.
It's atomic number 83. I've actually studied it a little bit, like what kind of things it's used for. I'll actually give one fun fact. You can combine bismuth with tin and add its this is what it's called, a eutectic composition, to where it's the melting point of the alloy is actually significantly lower than the melting point of bismuth or tin. So, for example, I think the melting temperature of bismuth is like 220 degrees C, and like tin is like around 300 degrees C. If you combine it at the eutectic composition, which I believe is like 43% tin, 57% bismuth by weight. Honestly, if anyone bothers to correct me on it, I'll be surprised. But at that composition, the melting point is around like 150 degrees C. So the reason why you'd want to use that is for soldering. So say you need to like solder a component together in like electronics. Like say the motherboard itself will melt at around 400 degrees C, but you still need to like melt metal, right? In order to like solder, say like a wire to a motherboard. Well, you can't do that with iron because iron doesn't melt until around 2000 degrees Celsius. So if you're going to melt the iron, you're melting the motherboard too. Yeah. But with an alloy like this, like that only melts at 150 degrees C, like you're looking at something that's, it's really not going to melt your motherboard.
For soldering.
Yeah, it's very good for soldering because you can melt it. You have all those benefits of melting, but nothing of melting the motherboard. Other people think that's really boring. I think that's really cool.
That's cool. I like it.
Real quick, I can vouch it's cool. I had over a friend one time, and I gave him the rundown of bismuth, and I had a great night. So you know what?
How drunk were you?
Not at all.
Surprising.
I went on a date with a girl, came back, and I told her about bismuth, and then we had a great night together. And I told Sticky that, and he's like, "There's no way you told this girl about bismuth." And I was like, "It worked magic, Sticky."
Well, on to
moving
you.
on from that.
This is also risk.
Huh?
Oh,
Sticky.
Oh.
You're not done?
Keep going.
I'm not done. No.
He has one more.
So this right here is a composite material I made in one of my classes.
Okay.
It has a flexure strength, I believe, of like 600 gigapascals. Obviously, that means nothing to anyone, but believe it or not, this was actually the weakest of the class. I still got a full grade on that project, so don't roast me. But
Weakest, but
designed
still got a good
Only
grade.
600
Yeah.
gigapascals.
of flexure strength. A good one would be like 2,000 gigapascals, in case you're wondering.
I get like 2030.
You would get 2030. But what this composite is like it's just a bunch of here. I'll show you. It's basically just a sandwich, right? It's
Yeah.
a sandwich of a what's called like a card. It's like basically a cardboard of some kind. It's called an aramid core, specifically, if you want to know. But it's basically like just cardboard, but it's like if you look at it from this angle, it's basically just of like a giant honeycomb.
Yeah.
It's of hexagons. Jens, stop laughing.
I'm not laughing at you, babe. I swear. I swear.
Well, either way, like,
So
and then
I
these
love
are-
you, and I'm very intrigued by this.
if you
all
look
right?
at the camera could focus.
Mhm.
If you can see it, like inside these little cardboard, I guess the bread of the sandwich, it's just layered sheets of carbon fiber, and then it's all
Okay.
connected through epoxy. And then like you compress this in a certain way, and you get a composite. And then like there's also a glue layer in here just to make sure everything sticks together. But they're actually looking to use this in aircraft. Unfortunately, right now it's the technology is a bit too expensive. Like this little thing right here probably costs like $50.
Mhm.
So yeah, but it's
Building a
insane.
plane a little bit bigger.
Yeah, like it's insanely strong. I cannot bend it for the life of me. Nothing.
Weak.
You try.
What if I just grabbed it and snapped it too?
I
God.
would quit my major right away. But yeah, like I have a really great passion for that. Like I straight up spent like 5 minutes talking about bismuth and composites, and I didn't even get into the real meaty details. Like I could tell you why tin and bismuth, like that at that specific composition, has a lower melting temperature, but no one wants to hear that. Besides,
maybe
like
in the after show discussion.
maybe
True.
subscribe to our Patreon for our $10 members. You'll get to hear why.
We don't have one at the moment, but
Yeah, we
one
don't
day.
have
What do we do? The first episode is going to be on material
Oh
engineering.
man.
That'd be sick.
No.
Actually.
But
What-
besides like engineering, my other passion would just be like I don't know.
Kissing men.
Yeah, I live with one, so we'll go with that. Honestly,
you
like
didn't have to say
I
that.
don't
I
really
didn't
have any
expect
passions.
everyone to like dead
Like,
stop
I'm really gonna
there.
reflect on it. I don't have any passions outside of like engineering and Smash, but like I am very strong for those passions. Trust me.
Yeah.
It's worth 1,000. So,
Alright. Well, I guess
1,000 gigapascals?
do you even know what a gigapascal is, dude?
It's 1,000. It's
a
a million
measurement of
pascals.
force.
It's a billion pascals.
Billion. That's what I said.
10 to the 9.
Yeah.
Risk, what you got for
Well,
us?
anyways, so like you heard at the beginning of stuff, I have a few passions. So I really like competitive sports. So growing up my whole life, I did gymnastics for 8 years, and then I did competitive football all throughout high school. So I'm a huge fan of like watching the NFL or college or even the NBA. Just because I was competing in that, that's kind of what led me to Smash anyway. Since as I grew older, I missed that competitive nature, and Smash is esports. It's like a sport.
And he's like 5'8", so he can't do football anymore.
Actually, there's pro NFL running backs that are 5'8". I'm just
And 5'8 is generous.
no. Frank Gore, who's in the Hall of Fame. Was
No, I'm
5'8".
talking about you, Risk. 5'8 is generous for you.
I'm literally 5'8" and a quarter. Don't you?
Five-
I know
okay.
my height.
No one who is 5'8" says they are 5'8" and a quarter.
I am the tallest.
You're
member-
5'6".
I'm not 5'6". I'm the
You're
tallest.
sounding like you're
member.
someone who's 5'6".
We'll meet
I
in the
don't
middle.
wanna hear it.
5'2".
You're gonna make fun of me for
Risk,
calling you out.
Risk.
Bismuth, I
I'm
get to make fun
taller
of
than you by
Anyway.
5 inches, and I'm 5'8.
Yeah, I'm taller than you. Regardless of the point, back to my passions. So football, but like you heard at the beginning, I lived in Hollywood for about 3 years, and like acting, comedy has always been a passion of mine. That's why I worked at I literally did shows for over a year. So that's passion. And then besides those competitive sports, esports with Smash, and acting, it's just playing games in general. So I've kind of played games my entire life. I own almost every console. I really like to 100% games on like the hardest difficulty. So like I just platinum God of War Ragnarok on Give Me God of War difficulty. I've 100%ed every From Software game, from Demon Souls to all three Dark Souls to Sekiro to Bloodborne. I've
Bro, you're a bigger nerd than Sticky, and he was talking about materials and Pascals.
well,
You still don't even
Not
know
the
what a
Pascal.
is, dude. I don't want to hear it.
I told you, it is a measurement of force.
No, it is not.
It utilizes newtons in it, does it not?
It does, but it's not a measurement of force.
Risk
What's his
taker,
measure?
I'm listening to you. I don't know about these guys.
He's over here beefing, wanting to out-engineer the engineering student. So, but anyways, gaming, I just have always loved 100% of games. Right now, I'm going through Fire Emblem Engage on Maddening difficulty, and I'm trying to, on Classic, and I'm trying to complete the entire game, keeping all my team members alive, since that's the hardest thing to do. But yeah, I just, sports, acting, comedy, and playing games. Those are like my 3 areas of passion. I like to write and like write stories and like read books, but that's something different. And then, I guess the final one would be like piano. I love playing piano, but that's about it.
Cool. I gotta say, the Risk Taker lore in particular today.
It runs deep.
It runs
Stand-up?
deep. How did I never know about that?
I don't even know.
I've been introduced to.
Bro.
I'm assuming probably about 50% of it.
Someday.
I've experienced life. I've been places. I've seen things. But you know what? I play Smash Bros. It's always so funny. I know Krieg heard a little bit of it, like when we were at Level Up together in a hotel room. And Krieg was like joking. He's like, I'm one of the most interesting people he's met, since he's like, the first time he's met me, he just thought, I've named all the Rob colors and I play Smash Bros. And that's like it. That's all they know about me. But it's like Smash is actually very new part of my life. Like I told you, March 2021. And it's like, I almost feel like a completely different person now that I'm in the Smash, in the persona I give off, compared to like who I was. But I wouldn't change a thing because I've met all you guys. So
Measurement of pressure, by the way.
Pressure is a form of force. That's
No,
just
it's not.
All right, guys. Thank you so much
It's
for
not.
joining us tonight
It's a measure
on
of
the
force per
Smash
unit
Hour
area.
podcast.
You
If you
guys
want to check
stop
out all of our
arguing.
social media, you can
Out.
find that in the description. Yin, how would you take us away? Do the thing.
Hey, yo.
What's the term?
You know where you can follow all the boys. I'm at yin_light. You got Sticky at
The sticky one on twitter.com.
3 C's, by the way, for Sticky, no K. We got Risk Taker at capital RISK, capital TKR, and then Zerg. Is it 3 R's?
No, there's a 3 at the end of it.
There's a 3. You're
Because
correct.
an old
Anyways.
grandma, I just risked TKR.
Oh,
So
gotcha.
I added 3.
Then you got Zerg at
Zerg?
Zerg_.
Zerg ___. That's 3.
I forgot about that.
2, 3. Yeah.
Anyways, and you know where we'll be next week. We don't know what we'll be talking about next week. We'll see if I'm even in the F. I'll be at Daddy's Den, baby.
That's all right. We might try to record an episode. Maybe we'll try to find a time this week. It's pretty difficult, but we will definitely have an episode within 2 weeks. That we can promise. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. I just knocked that water bottle over. He'll be fine. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, guys. We appreciate all that you do. Make sure to like, comment, viewer questions. By the way, I have
Yeah,
to
give us your
reach
questions.
out to people personally for viewer questions. Why aren't we getting them in the comments? I know we get like 50 views a video. None of you have questions? Maybe it's just by the time we get to the viewer questions, people log off.
They
But
hate us.
that's the best part of the podcast. Clear, you can hear all about the gigapascals next time on the Smash Hour.
Measurement of pressure. Force per unit area.
Quit it! Cut it off!
And we
cut
will
it off.
catch you guys later.
See ya.
Bye.